Oh, hi there. So, welcome to Roy Road Minerals' first Google Hangout. We're going to do quite a few of these, well, regularly. Normally what will happen is that shareholders or interested parties, investors will be invited to ask questions, connect and ask questions. But as this is our first one, and given it's just it's our one just prior to our listing on Monday the 20th, it's now Friday the 16th. We thought we'd just take on some questions that we get quite regularly, either one-to-one or in email from investors and various other interested parties. So I don't want to make this a long Google Hangout, as I say, because you guys are not engaged with the ability to ask questions. So very quickly, why list now? It's a question we get quite often. And as most of you will now be aware, the listing is this coming Monday the 20th on the Toronto Stock Exchange. The ticker is RYR. And the answer to the question is that for capital-intensive businesses, such as gold exploration, and a listing or an IPO is progress. And although we're in this protracted downturn and it's the extended sort of bottom of the market, it doesn't mean that we should stifle progress, at least in our view. It makes progress a little bit harder, but we're not in the business of throwing in the towel. So we're proceeding with our listing and with our exploration program as planned. The question here is, the listing is taking up a lot of time. What's the focus going forward? We're preparing for our summer drilling campaign at the project at Gomich, and some of you will have seen newsletters and various updates that we've published just recently. So we're doing some extensions of soil geochemistry, we're doing some induced polarization, geophysics, expanding some magnetics. We've just finished mapping some section work and basically getting ready to do a couple of things, to extend our known drilling, so the drilling that we completed late last year, which included 3 pretty good intersections, one up to 76 meters at a gram, I think, 40, 50 meters on the other side of that, over a 100 meter contiguous single drill fence. So we need to step along that drill fence and we need to step across it, obviously, and chase that mineralization out. And also we've got a couple of new exciting targets with pretty good grades in surface geochemistry, which we released, or at least we updated you with in a newsletter just last week, I believe. So that's what we're doing going forward. I should also say we're about to drill Coughlin as well. I'm not sure which we'll be drilling first, whether it be Gomich or Coughlin, but Coughlin, our gold discovery in the southeast of Turkey. We will be focusing on a sulfide anomaly that we've picked up in electromagnetics. It's a fairly strong conductor, and we just hit the edge of it, we think, in drilling a couple of years ago. We intersected 10 meters at 6.4 grams. And also what we think is a skarn alteration system, hopefully above the porphyry at our TOS copper and license. We've got lots of magnetite alterations, so we'll be drilling that one as well. So mostly drilling. Now, next question is one we get quite. So we make much of reforming, and we do. We've got this all over our marketing material, website, and presentation. Much of reforming to a new restructuring sector. What do you mean by that? And I understand, of course, that it's easy to be very cynical about motherhood statements such as that. But what we mean by reform is listed in various ways, shapes, and form on the website and on the presentation. But if it was to mean one thing and one thing only, in our minds at least, it would be treating the exploration industry as a bit more of a business. And that means not using the market like a cash machine. It means treating, developing assets, discovering, acquiring assets. If they don't make it for us, then looking for a cash out, and basically treating the asset sales funnel as important as the asset acquisition and discovery funnel. And we think that the market is going to insist on companies doing more than that, so doing that more often. so we're preparing ourselves for what we think is a structural change coming out of this long, protracted bond. What is upcoming news flow? Well, I guess I've discussed that. We've got some in terms of our drilling program, but we've got some work we need to release that we've conducted since filing 43-101. We can do that once we've listed. Hopefully, we've got some news on deals coming over the next few weeks as well. And then, of course, there's the drilling at Coughlin and Coughlin over the summer. How long will the money last? So we look to be coming out of this. We need to be coming out of this this listing process with about $2 million in the bank, and that'll see us comfortably through the rest of this year. And I should emphasise that we are very proactive in exploring other means of sourcing capital to see us extend well beyond the end of this year. Are you looking for other projects? Short answer is no. We're focusing on what we've got. We do, however, still believe in the potential of Southeast Turkey. We've spent the last 4 years there. We've spent about $4.5 million, generated lots of targets. And we were just, frustratingly, last summer, just gaining access into previously inaccessible areas where we knew we had pretty good potential. And the reason we were gaining access was because there was a peace process announced in March 2013 in Southeast Turkey. And that sort of took a year to really take effect. So such that last summer was really the first opportunity we had to get into places that hadn't been explored for about 30 years. But of course, we can't finance that in the current market, and so we are looking for joint venture partners to help us out with that Southeast Turkey. We've signed a couple of CAs on that already. What is the political landscape like? Is a question we get quite often. Well, Turkey just released a very positive new mining regulation, and as most people know, as a country, it's always been very proactive about attracting foreign investment, or at least recently always. Having said that, I think gaining visibility over this mirage of political sentiment is made an awful lot easier when you have a local engagement and cooperation with local partners. And I think that's extremely important. It's a strategy that we would adopt no matter where we were. And it's certainly working for us in Turkey. And then, of course, the political landscape becomes a lot easier to manage if you've got local support. And so we're very proactive with our communities, and everything's going pretty well on both that local part and community front. And then the final question, just to wrap this up, where do I see the market going? Well, I think probably most of us, it's consensus there that we're towards the end of this bottoming phase, and luckily gold seems to be stable around about $1,200, and I think the majors are up about 20% this year, so at least in that sense, there's a slight recovery. I suppose I don't see this as a gold price crisis. Given the strength of the US dollar, I think the gold price at $1,200 is a pretty good gold price. But it is a crisis of confidence that's affecting our industry, and I don't think it's something that's going to recover immediately. I think we'll see slow and hopefully sensible recovery over the next couple of years. Hopefully, with capital being deployed a little bit more sensibly by those of us who've made our career in this particular sector, and at least like to think we know what we're doing. Or I suppose you said we've made most of the mistakes. What I do find a little bit disturbing about this brave new world is that grassroots exploration is becoming extremely difficult to finance, and I've alluded to that previously in regard to our Southeast Turkey activities. And we're not the only ones. And most majors don't seem to be conducting grassroots exploration, at least in the traditional sense. And it's sort of become absent from our current industry environment. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what the long-term effects of strangling that project pipeline are. And I think, I'm hoping at least that that's going to lead to a fairly exciting couple of years. So the builders have just kicked off next door, so the noise is about to increase. So that's where I'll leave you. As mentioned, the main reason for this Google Hangout is to remind everybody that we are listing or start trading on Monday the 20th in the Toronto Stock Exchange, and we will be doing many more of these and inviting you to attend and submit questions. So good luck to all of you, and until the very next Google Hangout, Google Hangout. Cheers.